In the heart of the frozen peaks, life and death are separated by a single heartbeat. What you're about to see isn't just a rescue. It's the beginning of an impossible bond between a man, a dog, and a ghost of the mountains. I found him at his weakest moment, facing a predator 3 times his size. But as he grew, so did a question I wasn't ready to answer. Can you ever truly tame the wild? Or are we just guests in their world? This is the story of how a small orphan became a king, and the day he finally came back to say goodbye. Or so I thought. The ice doesn't just freeze your body, it tries to steal your soul. When I saw those black ears struggling above the surface, I knew I was racing against more than just the cold. I was racing against time itself. This is the story of a rescue that defied nature, where a predator had to choose between his instinct to fight and his will to survive. I took him from the water's edge to the brink of recovery, only to realize that the hardest part wasn't saving his life. It was letting him go back to the wild where he belongs. Watch how a moment of tragedy turned into a silent pact of trust. Nature has a strange way of hiding its most powerful kings in the places you'd least expect. I went to take out the trash, but I ended up saving a soul. He was small, terrified, and discarded like an object, but he never forgot the hand that chose him over the darkness. We grew up together, testing the limits of friendship and strength, until he became too big for our world. Now, the only thing between us is a sheet of glass, but even that can't hide the bond we built. This is the journey of a tiger who went from a trash bag to a kingdom, and the man who had to let him go to keep him alive.
Easy, buddy. You're strong.
They say animals live in the moment, but trauma has a way of leaving scars that time alone can't heal. When I first saw him, he was just a broken soul left behind, but all he needed was someone to prove that love is stronger than fear. From his first warm bath to the joy of finding a family he never thought he'd have, this little goat's journey is a reminder that everyone deserves a place to belong. Watch as a story of abuse turns into a life of sunshine, laughter, and a friendship that changed us both forever. I saw the lizard lunging at the bag, and I knew every second counted. What I found inside changed me forever. A tiny lion cub, abandoned and alone. But the real miracle wasn't just saving his life, it was what happened next. In the clinic, he met a companion who spoke the same language of survival, a jaguar cub. From that first bowl of milk to their days as powerful kings, they chose to be brothers. This is a story of how an unlikely friendship became an unbreakable bond. Watch as 2 predators rewrite the laws of nature together. In the Arctic, danger usually comes from above the ice, but this time, the abyss reached out for its own. I watched in horror as a giant octopus dragged a polar bear cub into the freezing depths. It was a battle between 2 worlds that should have never met. Even after he was free, the ocean left a toxic mark that almost claimed his life. This is the story of a rescue that pushed us to the limit. From the black ink of a monster to the pure white of a mother's embrace. Watch how we fought to bring a king back to his throne.
Keep the stream low, right along the curve. That's it. Let the suds carry it off.
Copy, moving toward the plank.
Good. See that white coming through? Stay steady on the breathing.
Fogging, but rhythm's holding.
In the vast silence of the snow, some secrets are buried too deep to be found, unless you're looking for a miracle. I thought I was digging through ice, but I ended up uncovering a soul. He was small, rare, and almost lost to the cold. But what started as a rescue turned into an incredible journey of friendship, where a domestic cat became the mentor to a future king. This is the story of a white lion who proved that loyalty has no species, and the day he finally returned to the snow. Not as a victim, but as a legend. Watch how a tiny spark in the cold grew into a majestic flame. When the forest stopped breathing, I found him, a tiny shadow lost in the smoke. The way back was erased by fire, and for a moment, it felt like the world was ending. But even in the deepest ashes, life finds a way to hold on. We fought his tremors, healed his wounds, and taught him that not every hand brings harm. Day by day, the fear left his eyes, and the wild began to call him back. This isn't just a story about surviving a fire, it's about the moment the forest finally answered. Watch as he runs back to where he truly belongs. In the heart of the jungle, a yellow nightmare was tightening its grip on a rare soul. I had only seconds to undo the coils of a giant python before it was too late. But the rescue was just the beginning. The predator didn't want to let go, chasing us through mud and water until my lungs burned. I fought to keep his head above the current, wondering if we'd ever see the light of day. This is the story of a white tiger cub who faced a monster and lived to tell it. And the moment his mother finally stepped out of the fog to take him home, watch the narrowest escape I've ever filmed.